Hello and welcome to Paw Racing's first special event of 2024, where we will be. Let's not quickly change that so it's not red flag. It's fuck. There we go. Practice. I need to quickly mute that. There we go. So we don't hear double audio. Fantastic. Off to a great start. Hello and welcome to Paw Racing's first special event of the year. In between our Ginetta GT4 Championship, we will be doing some of these special events so the community can have a little unwind, little fun, just everyone joining in that doesn't need the intensive, high competitive nature of our championships. Regardless, welcome to the BRC pickup track race here at Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. For you people that know of UK club level racing scene, you will definitely recognize these pickup trucks. They're a mainstay. They've been here since the late 1990s, and they provide some of the best racing that UK has to offer, honestly. And here today, I will be joined once again by Dave Wingers. So, welcome, Dave. Happy to have you once again in this commentary booth.
Hello, yet again. It is great to be back. Of course, we had a very entertaining time with the Ginettas last week, and it is absolutely fantastic to be back again on Paw Racing, of course, a community I very much enjoy being around, and I enjoy commentating on some of the best racing I see in league racing. But yes, the BARC pickup truck racing is certainly a series I've never watched before. I didn't even know it actually existed until your mod introduced me to it. So I must say thank you for introducing me to yet another form of motor racing. Yeah, no, I can't wait to see this, to be honest. I think it will provide some exciting racing, and the mod sounds are, chef's kiss.
The mods are basically the Ford Escort RS 1600 engine sounds, and one of the better sounding engines within Assetto Corsa has to offer. So, yeah, definitely very happy with the way these cars sound, the way these cars came out. I will let you know on the Insider mod that this mod is due for an update very shortly.
Ooh. Could we perhaps see a leak of this in the future?
Perhaps it is now that I've acquired the laser scan data of these cars, we will have a much more accurate 3D representation of these trucks in Assetto Corsa.
Hooray! Okay, I can't wait for that. Genuinely, I will look forward to that because I didn't have time to test out the cars before I came on, but like I can just see right now that they're a real handful, and they just look like they're great fun. I really do hope that the drivers are having a good time with them as well. Just moving on, of course, now to, of course, the fact that this is a special event, so we can just take it a little bit easier than we usually would today. But Danny Tatui has not gotten that memo. He is in free practice right now and is half a second ahead of Juan Gramage. But, of course, I do like to see that Anno is also further up the field. Hopefully, he can actually keep it on track, and as soon as I say that, he's up to second. What the heck?
So, it is a little bit, what'd you say, annoying that Danny Tatui went with a 50.1. He beat my fastest lap on these strokes, and I thought, you know what, I'll just let Danny Tatui have this one, because, you know, a matte domination could bore fans, as they say. So, I'll just give Danny Tatui a little bit of a breathing space in this event. That's why I'm still only commentating today and not racing.
I did think about racing, but in the end, I just was like, you know what? I'm just going to be slow. I'll stick to the commentary box. That's my excuse, anyway.
That's your excuse. But yeah, you did mention that these cars are a handful. Do you know the construction of these cars?
I know nothing. I did not know about this until today.
So basically, the pickup truck racing here, they're tubular space frame chassis. They weigh about 850 kilos, very light chassis, and they are powered by two liter Vauxhall or Ford Duratec engines, developing around 240 horsepower. So you have quite a lively rear axle. Everything's rear wheel driven. You have a sequential gearbox in the modern spec cars anyway. In this mod, back when this was developed 2022, you had H pattern shifter. So
Okay.
all of that power sent straight to the rear wheels. No traction control, no ABS. It's all down to driver skills on controlling these cars.
I love it. I love it already. So with these cars, sorry if I've misheard you here, but do they also have a H pattern?
Yes, so the mods here have an H pattern gearbox, so drivers will need to be very careful on the downshifts, and a little bit of heel and toe is very much advisory here.
Ooh. Nice, 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 nice. Okay. I'm excited for this already. Yeah. Okay, but anyway, the practice session is now complete. All 11 drivers have just crossed the line, and we finally have Rickson Bobby setting a time. He is up into 6th with a 51.0 at the moment. So there you go, that plunks him in 6th position for the practice. But now we move on to what I believe is a 10-minute qualifying.
Indeed, we will have a 10-minute qualifying. Again, these short events, so especially this one, is just nice, quick and easy. Something that drivers can just relax and have fun with driving on the weekend.
No, you say that, and yet our usual suspect is right at the top of the field, Danny Tatui. Anno, though, having a good time with the trucks as well in second, Wangramage in third, but of course this is free practice. I want to see if this translates into qualifying as well, and Victor Bernat, again, another quick driver, of course, that was in your Praga series and even in the Super Formula series with Cyanide, a partner community of ours. So a very quick driver. So definitely four drivers to look out for here, which are really quick. And Anno, definitely one of the more unpredictable ones. Let's see if he can translate this into qualifying pace. Like I stated already. Right, Matt, do you want to take us through the formats of the race today?
Very nice, very quick and easy. People that have watched Paw Racing will be very familiar. We have 10-minute practice, 10-minute quality, and we have shortened two 15-minute races. In the second race, the top 6 is reversed, but top 6 from qualifying. It is very much mirroring the format that the real pickup trucks race with. However, the difference is in pickup track, top 6 is reversed from qualifying even in race 1. So
Oh, wow.
every single race in pickup championship is reverse top 6. In the
Wow.
first race is reverse top 6 from qualifying. Well, the first 2 races are reverse top 6 from qualifying, and the qualifying is split between 2 sessions. So in the pickups you have, I think, 15 or 10-minute qualifying. You have the first 5 minutes as the grid for the first race. The second 5 minutes sets the grid for the second race, and the top 6 reversed. In the third race, in the pickups, is your combined position. So if you scored a 4th and a 5th, third race you will be P5. But then again, top 6 is reversed, so you'd have a P2, basically.
Okay then, alright. Well, I might have to run that by you one more time once we're done with this. But it's certainly a fun learning experience for me. I'll give you that for free. But anyway, I think it was Wout Gramage leading the pack out into qualifying. He's just coming through the final long right-hander right now, and he'll begin his lap. So it is about, I would say we're looking at the 49s if practice was anything to go by, if they were running their race full race programs on that. So I would say a 49 to beat. Wangramage going very wide though, so I think this lap time might already be in a bit of trouble here. The times coming across on your screen right now are simply just out laps right now. Do not take those into consideration. Now, due to the short nature of the track, qualifying will go by so quickly, so it's so important just to get out there as soon as possible. Warm up your tires, get the car going, get everything all warmed up, and then get your lap time out, because as the session goes and goes and goes, the track begins to rub it in more and more and more, and then the faster you can go, it usually means that the last out is the fastest. So let's see what happens here. Wout Gramage comes across the line, the first to set a proper time. It's going to be a 50.721, so not quite where we expect to be, Matt.
No, in fact, we're not where we are expecting to be in just at all, really. So we will definitely see times very close to 49s. Danny is the only driver that I've seen on servers that was able to go into 49.9. So I will be very curious to see if that was in race fuel or quali fuel when he did those runs. I know.
I must say.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, I said I know. When I did the 51, I did it on the full fuel load. So, Danny, just letting you know, I was sandbagging the whole time.
Okay then, well, so Victor Bernat went fastest with a 50.287 there, so he's currently our fastest driver. Tom Harding, who we didn't see get set a time in practice, is currently qualified up to 4th with a 51.077, but there you go, Danny Tatui, by little to nothing at all, takes pole position away from Victor Bernat and is now with a 50.286, so nothing in that at all. From Danny Tatui and Victor Bernat, so everybody else with some work to do. Anno, as well, with a bit of work to do. And we just had a moment, judging from your reaction.
They did. I was just driving aboard with Juan Gramaz. They had a moment coming into the bomb hill corner on the exit. Got a little bit too wide, got on the grass. Had to save a tank slapper of a of a slide. Good save, however. Got to give it to the Spaniard.
Fair enough. And guess what? Tom Harding also had a moment, and I believe that impeded Juan Gramage a little, so he was not able to improve there, staying at a 50.613 as it stands right now. So, there you go. Anno also setting a faster time, 50.902. So, Anno not quite there just yet for some reason. As there you go, Alexandra there into 3rd position, 50.476. So the times are starting to come down now, and we don't have long to go. We are approaching the halfway point, and qualifying has just kind of gone by in a snap of a finger, and Alexandra with Tokyo Drift nearly held it there, but into the grass, unfortunately, so he will continue on. And
so
Juan best from one.
Juan Gramas has actually done a purple best sector of the session so far in Sector 1. He does go fastest with a 50.228. So Danny Tatui, the gloves are off and the challenge is set down.
Here we go then. So a lot of drivers to keep an eye on. Rickson Bobby there coming into 8th position. That's a 51.487. But at the moment it is Juan Gramage setting the pace with nearly 5 minutes to go. This race, well, these vehicles providing great entertainment thus far, wouldn't you agree, Matt? Even in quality.
Indeed, even in quality, these vehicles are just joy to drive with. They're so lively. They always force the driver to think, get down and think, and make sure focus really on the driving. Because if you lose your focus, these cars will buy you in the dust. And you can see the way they move out of the corners with a light slide. The drivers have to correct that every single moment just to keep the car pointing in the right direction. So you see Victor Bernat having an off after setting the purple first sector. Danny Tatui not having the best of sector, not having the best of time so far.
Wonder if drivers are starting to push that car, because as the time's gone away, I know we were mentioning about grip being rubbered down, but also those tires will be overheating as well. So another thing I didn't quite bring into my explanation here is that perhaps the tires are overheating and then drivers begin to struggle for grip, and that actually affects the improvements. We see Victor Bernat on the pit exit there, just waiting for a gap there to go in. And what's happened? These
tires are actually... Oh, Danny Tatui with a sideways Tokyo Drift around Druid's Bend. I believe that was Anno that he just came across and maybe got a little bit too flustered. But to bring you back onto the tires, the cars themselves... Oh, well, the tires themselves are very resilient. They're very similar to the MX-5 Cup tires. Hard compound slick tires. It takes a lot to actually overheat these tires.
I see. So we're on hard compound of tires, and it will take quite the Herculean effort to overheat them. I assume that's what you meant.
It's the equivalent of a hard compound tire. So it's if you ever driven an MX-5, you know how difficult it is to actually overheat those tires. These tires are, especially when I did like 100 laps, lap after lap after lap of even spinning around, the tires you won't overheat them really, so that's one thing that drivers don't have to worry about too much. You see Alexandra just off in Paddock Hill Bend.
Indeed, and also Juan Gramage actually improved on his time, so maybe we were a bit optimistic thinking that the pole time was going to be in the 49s. At the moment, it's a 50.086 from Juan Gramage. He holds a temporary pole for the time being, but Danny Tatui and Victor Burnett looking like they'll bring a challenge, or they'll at least want to. We only have 2.5 minutes to go, and Anno has found a parking space somewhere straight to the pits. He'll have time to do an outlap and a fastest lap. So here we go. Anyway, Anno now
Ooh,
coming out with
Juan
this. Juan Gramage
Gramage.
into the bottom.
Juan Gramage into the gravel. Victor Bernard might be improving his lap time. Let's have a look. It's 50.8. Doesn't improve, but Juan Gramage was going 2.5 tenths faster in the opening sector before he had a little bit of a spin coming into McLean's, and that put him out of the contention for really improving his lap time. And well, Alexander Queiroz with a 50.313, just less than half a tenth behind the top podium places.
Indeed, I must say it's very close on the timing sheets for, as you say, between the podium positions, and Anno, well on the outside of it all, is definitely right there with everybody. That's really good to see, considering, and that is Tom Harding now. That was just a bit of a moment there. Unfortunately, he just rejoined right into Anno's path. And ultimately, Tom Harding kind of gave himself nowhere to go, as Alexandra also has a moment at the same exact area, and Anno begins another fastest lap. And, oh, well, Tokyo drifts it round the first corner, but that must have been really fun. He had it on the grass there, keeps it under control, and it continues on. I don't know if that's the fastest way around. I haven't had time to test the cars, but it certainly looks like the drivers are having fun, Matt.
And it does look like drivers are having fun. I saw Rix and Bobby going into McLean's with a awful opposite log. These cars, McLean's is such an awkward corner because you have to brake and slightly turn your car just to slow down for that final hairpin, because you have that left and then right. But you don't start braking until you're actually start to turn in, because these cars, well, that you won't go faster than 190 kilometers an hour around this track, and going to McLean's is only 140. There is technically a little bit of straight before that final corner. That left-right that Danny Tatui is now approaching to. So right here, as we drive on board, so you start braking here in a straight line, turning your car and trying to get it slowed down. That is the most difficult part of this track, I would definitely say, because that car is very much on the edge, and exactly. And well, good luck to every driver that has come across. These cars are quite a handful through there.
I was also just going to point out that Anno and Juan Gramage have had moments in their laps, so they are not going to improve. This is the final lap for all the drivers, so I'm keeping an eye on Danny Tatui right now, seeing if he can improve. Of course, Danny Tatui saying that I am his curse, that whenever I'm commentating, he doesn't win when he's at the pace. Hopefully he can break that today. Although I'm in the comms box and I've got no direct way of affecting his race.
Danny Tatui with a purple first sector so far, so let's have a look what he can do in the final sector. Can he steal that pole position from Juan Gramage, as we see Ikamar there, Breitmeyer and Rix and Bobby coming across the finish line. Oh, and it's only 50.139 from Danny Tatui, half a tenth behind Juan Gramage, and for a driver that was looking so good in the in practice session.
Well, it's only half a tenth away. Let's not count him out just yet. He will have the pace coming in to race number 1, which of course I believe is 20 minutes if I've read the thing correctly.
It'll be 15 minutes.
15, I do apologize.
Very shortened races. If we had the option of having 3 races in a server without having to restart, set the grids manually, then we would have three races. Maybe 3 10-minute races, maybe 3 12-minute races. Who the heck knows? I certainly do know that Brands Hatch, they usually run laps. So technically we would do 10 minute, 15-minute races, 15-minute race, or 12 minute, and then 18 minutes, seeing as the pickups final race is usually longer by 50-ish%.
Right, so anyway, there you go. So remind me, Juan Gramage is starting pole, or is he being reversed?
So for the first race, because we cannot do reverse grids in first race for Assetto Corsa, he'll be starting on pole position. Race 2, he will be P6 and Tom Harding will be on the pole position.
Right, okay, got it now. Thank you very much. But otherwise, I think we have a very exciting race up ahead, and I think the top 5 have a genuine chance of having great battles with one another, and I think we are going to see some very exciting action. So strap in for these 15 minutes because they are going to be some of the greatest racing I think you will ever see. And I'm trying not to hype this up too much, but honestly, it's very hard not to. This has been a very exciting start to what should be a very exciting period of racing.
Indeed, we have the top 9 within 1 second. Granted, it's 1 second on a 50-second track, but still, we have the top 9 within 1 second of each other. And this is actually something that I've been thinking as a community is maybe during the winter series when the actual pickup trucks have a the time off, we should host a championship with these pickups and invite real life pickup drivers into the championship.
I think that's a great idea. I'd totally love to do that. I'd love to see if I could be a pickup driver in the sim, but I don't think I could, to be honest.
Well, we will have to see, won't we? We would have to, maybe after next weekend, after I'm back from France, if we can sort something out for these pickups, maybe we'll have a discussion. Who knows? You'll find out in 2 weeks.
I can't wait for that. So, anyway, I think our race is nearly set, so it is Juan Gramage on pole. I'm just going to find a better camera angle. No, I cannot. So here we go. I've got something here. So anyway, the countdown begins. We've got 3, 4, 5, 6 red lights on your screen. We go racing for the first time in Brands Hatch, and it is not a bad start from Juan, but Danny Tattoo is not too far behind his teammate. Well, I say teammate, Victor Bernat gets a not so bad start himself. Anna was bogged down a little there. He's losing touch with the top 4, but there's just a bit of contact in the background there.
Ooh,
and it
Alexandra.
has forced someone off.
Alexander Carreras in the gravel pits. Very unfortunate for the Portuguese driver. He will be far back down. These guys, trying to get these guys going is a monumental effort with the clutch. The engine momentum is just not there. But Victor Bernard already onto the back of Juan Guamash, getting past his teammate. Well, teammate in the actual Ginetta series.
Yeah, of course. And Anno has just been, well, is currently side by side with Rix and Bobby, I believe the American driver, according to his profile on Assetto Corsa. To be fairly honest, yeah, no, it sounds about right, but there you go. Anno losing out on 4th, and Ika Marava not too far behind as well. Of course, a quick driver in his own right. Now trying to go round the outside of Anno. Anno having a dreadful start to this race, but defends 5th for the time being. And look at how squirrely they get into turn 1. Very exciting to watch, and wow, Anno, as the leaders go side by side, Matt.
Yeah, leaders are side by side. Victor Bernard with a tighter line into Paddock Hill. Managed to get the inside line. Juan is being forced just a little bit off on the white Frujuris, but down into the Bomb Hill corner. He has the inside line. Is able to force Victor down the white line. And it's now Danny Tattoo attempting an outside maneuver into McLean's. Will he be able to make it stick? A little bit of rubbing coming into the corner. Danny has to back out if he knows what's best for himself. So Juan managed to retain second space, but Victor Bernard, the big winner so far, manages to retake that first place. Let's see if he can pull away, or will Juan be able to retake his form from qualifying and find a way by his Spanish compatriot.
Fastest lap there coming from... Sorry, go on.
Now, I was about to say what you were saying with Rix and Bobby setting the fastest lap time. Juan Gramage just diving around the inside sideways, goes Juan Gramage a little bit too aggressive on the steering when he was trying to peer outside, switch to the outside of Victor Bernard. These cars, if you abuse them too much, if you make too sudden movements, they will bite you back hard. These cars prefer a much smoother approach to your steering inputs.
You can certainly see that a lot of drivers struggling with the...
Oh, it's contact! Rix and Bobby goes into the back of Juan Gramage, going into McLean's. Juan manages to save it. Rix and Bobby loses out, and Nika Marava now retaking the final podium space. Sorry to cut you off like that.
No problem at all. I was just going to say that the drivers are all struggling. Of course, this is a different style of driving to what they would be used to. For example, like, you know, in the Ginettas, for example, like, you know, you could just bully that car with the steering, but this car, no, it demands you be smooth. It's so heavy, but guess what? Overtaking maneuver for Anno. Oh no! That is Juan Gramage taken out by Anno. What was he thinking there? Careful, Anno, don't rejoin unsafely. I know how much you love those. And unfortunately for him and Anno, they are now down in 10th and 11th with work to do, and 11 minutes. It's not impossible, but it is certainly an effort. And, oh, the Greek driver of Fotis is now off to rejoin it. Oh, my goodness me. And panicky moments there at Paddock Hill, I believe it is.
I believe it is. We got the turn 1 paddock hill, we got turn 2 Druids, and then bomb corner turn 3.
Druids, that's the one I got confused with, as we've seen Alexandra make a move for 7th position, and Wangramage not too far behind at all, will of course be incensed with what happened with him and Anno. Not his fault at all. Anno just misjudging the brakes there, coming up here into Druids, and then unfortunately forcing Wan down the order. But at the moment, on a recovery and up into 8th, but the lead battle has kind of stayed steady, hasn't it, Matt?
Indeed, it has. I was expecting Danny to be able to get into the rhythm that he showed in the practice server before the race server went live and get into those 49.9s, but it doesn't seem that way so far. Victor Bernard is able to have the measure of Danny Tatui, while Alexander Queiroz is trying to get the measure of Juan Gramage. We know he qualified on pole position, so he will be trying to make his way by the Portuguese driver as quickly as possible.
Yes, the slipstream coming into the first turn.
Oh, sideways from Alexandre. Onto the grass he goes. How was he able to save the car? I have absolutely no idea. That's some fantastic car control from the Portuguese national.
Well, I must say, I think Wangramage there, considering what happened to him earlier on, must have been thinking, oh no, not again, as he was just hitting that exit curve. But lucky for him, Alexandra knows what he's doing and keeps the car under control, as you say, and even then saved it from a pretty epic drift, if I say so myself. And Wangramage is allowed to continue, but Alexandra again gets it wrong, coming into the final right-hander. And that's bring Brett Meyer into contention for 8th position, and Anno not really showing the pace in the race yet again, as I think that's Bart the Raccoon setting the fastest lap at 50.7. So not a bad one from the Raccoon of the grid there. Danny Tatui, though, beginning to lose touch with the lead as well, just as we're looking around here. So our closest battle, I believe, is actually for 9th. And as soon as I say that, Anno is down the outside of Brett Meyer there and up into 9th position. So he's on a chase of his own. But guess what? Brett Meyer hasn't given this up just yet. Just gives him a peek there, but unable to do anything with it. And that is up into 9th position for Anno.
Indeed, up to 9th position for Anno, down from where he qualified. It seems to be the story of Anno's racing career, as Victor Bernard says the fastest lap time with 50.249. Just trying to go. Ooh, it's Mateusz Breitmeier having a tank slapper coming out of the final corner and just having into the gravel. As Juan Gramage says the fastest lap time with the second driver I've seen into 49.9. So fantastic race for. Well, fantastic lap from Juan Gramage, and I know I had one driver in particular being questionable whether these cars were balanced against one another, thinking that Isuzu was the first, but here's Juan Gramage with a Vauxhall setting the fastest lap so far.
And not a bad effort from Juan Gramage there. At the moment, he has, of course, got involved in a tangle with Anno earlier on, which, of course, wasn't of his own doing. But look at this. Juan Gramage braver on the brakes than Bart the Raccoon there, and guess what? That is him up into 6th position there. Danny Tatui still trying to trade fastest laps with Victor Bernard up the road, but Juan Gramage, you know, maybe don't count him out just yet, but it is going to be a Herculean effort. He probably will just be happy to sit here in 6th and then go to pole position for the next race. I would imagine.
Qualifying reverse top 6.
Oh, sorry, it's a qualifying reverse top 6. Forgive me, it's the old lead poor habit here.
Indeed.
So anyway, so it's a qualifying reverse top 6, I should mention. So it doesn't matter how the drivers finish on this one. It's Tom Harding in pole position for next race, but Raccoon has lost it, unfortunately.
We got Bart Raccoon sideways onto the track, luckily in quite an easy spot to recover himself from and out of the way of drivers, as we go back to the battle for 4th position between Rickson Bobby and Tom Harding. Rickson Bobby having the pace advantage over Tom Harding. Let's see if he can actually make the move past, I believe, the British national, currently driving for Able Roofing of Suffolk. Of the car that was raced last season in 2023 in the pickup truck championship.
Alexandra has a moment coming up to Paddock Hill, I think it is. And that
Oh,
is
Tom
kind
Harding
of
has spun! Tom Harding into the wall that allows Rix and
Oh.
Bobby to go on by. Juan Gramage into 5th position. I'm not sure whether that was assisted or self-inflicted. Let me quickly double check. No, it was self-inflicted, I believe. So Rix and
Yes,
Bobby
that's
into
correct.
4th place.
Yeah, so it was a crash in with the environment as it came up on the live timing screen. So that is very much a self-inflicted incident for Tom Harding, down into 8th, and he was looking really good for a good finish there. But unfortunately for him, he's down into 8th, but will have pole position in the next race. So it could be much worse for Tom Harding. But guess what, Matt? 6 minutes to go.
It is. It's 6 minutes to go. To be honest, it feels like we've been racing for 15 minutes already, and there's only 6 minutes remaining. There's been so much action. It really does seem to make the time fly slower than it actually is. And we have a driver slow. I believe that's Ike Marve recovering from a little bit of an incident. It seems like he's plummeting down the order. Rix and Bobby now in the podium places, and now he has his teammate from Ginetta's, Juan Gramage, on his bumper. We know how quick Juan has been throughout this race.
Indeed he has, and there you go. Juan Gramage has now got the inside line coming into the first corner. He's already got that done, but will Marava fight this? Not really. He's going to try for the cutback. Not the easiest place to do it, and it doesn't quite work. He has to slot in behind Juan for now, and then try and maybe fight another day. But considering Juan's pace and your pole position sitter at the beginning of this race, that's going to be a bit of a tough ask. So Rix and Bobby now in a podium spot. We didn't expect him to be here, but now has a very fast charging Spaniard right behind him. Can he hold him off, or will he succumb to the pressure? We will, of course, keep an eye on that as the race progresses. But Victor Bernat now with a 49.821. So the 49s are happening, Matt.
Indeed, 49s are happening as Victor Bernat has answered the call and tried to put Danny Tatui. Danny Tatui just not having the race he probably would have certainly wanted.
No, I have to agree with that. Danny Tatui will be lamenting the curse that I have put on his race. Apparently, it's my fault now that if he doesn't win, as long as I'm around, he doesn't care if I'm in the comms box or not. If I was just chatting in the chat, he would say, that was your fault, mate. So, anyway, so interesting thing. Well, I'll be interested to hear what Danny has to say after this race, that's for sure. But at the moment, it seems to have all settled down. Your closest battle as it stands right now is between Alexandra and Anno for 6th position. Of course, Anno, unfortunately, absolutely bulldozed himself into Juan Gramage. I think he is going to be apologetic after that. After the race, that is, and will hold his hands up, I would assume. But he's going to probably be in the podium positions. I think 2nd place, if I've got this right.
Indeed, he will be in 2nd place. But to be honest, I'm quite excited to see what race 2 will have to offer, because we had one driver that was unable to start because they didn't grid up in time, because the ready up time was set to 30 seconds, which is the default for some reason.
Well, we'll certainly see how he does. Is that Andrew Bayer that we missed out on?
It is, that's Andrew Bias. Tom Harding has spun out coming out of the Druids, so the race what seemed like a good battle. Ooh, and that was a very risky rejoin from Tom Harding right into the path of Bart the Raccoon.
It certainly was. Tom Harding there, usually very sensible. Well, unfortunately got this wrong as we have a lapped vehicle in Fotis Kacheos. Unfortunately for him, I had another accident coming into Druids, I should say. And unfortunately for him, he has been lapped in this 15-minute race. So a terrible day at the office for him. I wonder if
Juan Gramage has a little bit of a terrible day, I think, because when he was catching up to Rix and Bobby, he has lost himself coming into Druids and got passed by his teammate Ike Marave again.
So Rix and Bobby kind of has this all in the bag. It's his to lose. 3rd place could be his by the end of all of this. That will surely be exciting for him. I believe the ATS stands for American Truck Simulator, so probably representing his side of the world in terms of truck simulating. But at the moment, Rix are doing his USA compatriots proud at the moment. 3rd position in otherwise a race he might not have won, despite the with the accidents happening around him. And now he must be feeling good going into race 2. It must be giving him that little boost of confidence, I would say. Anno though and Alexandra having a battle for 6th position, Matt.
Oh, let's go back to that. Let's see if Alexandra can make his way by Anno. Anno, we have seen, is capable of driving quite fast with these pickup trucks, but Alexandra has a 2.5 times fastest lap than Anno does. So let's see if which one of these two prevails. It will be Isuzu versus Ford as Alexandra goes very much sideways coming out of the final corner. That's not gonna help him with a pursuit of the Anno driver.
I will say that Anno in Sector 1 was only half a tenth slower than his chaser. In fact, yeah, about 7,000 slower or so. And at the moment, just reading the times at the moment, it is very much nip and tuck with their lap times at the moment, as we are now approaching 45 seconds. And Danny Tatui, the last time I looked at that lead gap was about 1.7 seconds, but now that gap is starting to come down. But as soon as I say that, Alexandra has a good run here, going into the final section of the circuit here. Alexandra unable to make any sort of move. Anno making that truck as wide as he possibly dare. And now, coming out of coming out of the final corner, he has a good run, but Danny Tatui still not able to close down enough. And I do believe this will be the final lap once the counter reaches 0.
You are correct, this will be the final lap. So Alexandra has one final try to get by Anno sideways, well, on the edge of grip. Alexandra is around the outside. Well, Palavas around the outside. He attempts to make a move by Anno, slightly too, well, we'll say too early on the brakes from Alexandra. Anno is able to maintain just a comfortable enough gap as Victor Bernard crosses the line first with Danny Tatui second behind. Let's move quickly back to the battle for 6th place. Let's see if Alexandra will try to be braver on the brakes. Coming into McLean's. No, he's not able to.
Nope, indeed. So Anna will take 6th position, but Victor Bernat is your winner with Danny Tatui in 2nd. Rix and Bobby with a proud 3rd position for him. USA Patriots, Marava in 4th, Gramage in 5th, Anno in 6th, Alexandra in 7th in the end, like we predicted. Bart will come home, only just though, but Tom Harding might have something to say about it. He has got a run for 8th position, but Bartlett Raccoon goes to the inside to defend. It won't be enough for Tom. And Brett Meyer, all the way down in 10th, very much a race of his own, comes home in the end. So there you go. And of course, Katichus comes home in 11th, but was a lap down, so his race has been completed early, but still went to do the extra lap anyway. I'll give you A for effort, Fotis. So there we go. That is race number 1. That was one hell of a race, Matt. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it has been quite a very enjoyable race. I have had quite a lot of fun watching these drivers pushing these trucks to the very limit, and some is paid off for some drivers. It has not paid off for some drivers. So let's see what race 2 has to offer.
So as far as we know, it's Tom Harding on pole, if I remember this correctly. So it's Tom Harding. Then it's Anno in 2nd. Wygramage in 3rd. No, he will be 6th because he was on pole for the first race. So it will be Victor Bernat in 3rd. Danny Tatui 4th even, sorry. Danny Tatui in 5th, and then 6th will be Wangramage, if I've got that right. I'm working off the top of my head here.
I think that's something like that, I think.
All right, well, we'll find out when we get there eventually, once the cooldown has been completed. So, at the moment, I would like to think that we need to keep an eye on a couple of drivers. I think Danny Tatui will make his way up the field, although he only has a few cars to worry about. It's not like we're doing an actual lead pool race where we do a top 10 reversal. It is only a top 6, so not as much traffic to wade through, but still, the start will be the most risky. Although most drivers, unlike Alexandra, will keep it clean. I mean, Alexandra just getting into a moment of his own there, but still recovered it from last to 7th and didn't really get in that many dramas after that. So a lot of drivers here will be looking to improve on their race 1 result, especially I would say Alexandra for sure, and I would say Tom Harding. He'll be looking to at least stay within the podium. I don't think he has the pace for the win personally, but certainly one to keep an eye on for the top three. But yeah, no, we're just waiting for a session cooldown. Matt, anything that you would like to mention out of race one?
Not much, just some very good racing throughout the grid. There's been some very good pace that's been set by quite a lot of these drivers. A lot of these drivers have been around the 50.5 seconds, so I think the drivers are getting more and more comfortable with these tracks, and I reckon now that the drivers will have a little bit more confidence and lap time, we might see some closer battles, I think.
I think so too, because we did, as you say, like, the drivers. I don't know what it is about the racing, but like, as a driver as well, like, when I was, like, when I was doing, what was it called? Over the Limit. It was the Endurance Championship in season one. When it came down to race day, that was when I finally was at my most comfortable. I don't know what it is. I don't know if that's something to do with the physics of the game or just something else entirely. Doesn't matter how much practice I did, it was always the race where I got the most comfortable with the car and however it behaved. It was certainly an interesting way how that worked. So it will be certainly interesting to see if what I say translates to the other drivers for race number two. Cooldown is taking quite a little bit longer than we anticipated, so we will be underway very soon. Don't you worry about that. But how many drivers are we expecting?
So we should be expecting 12 drivers racing here today. As soon as every driver just quickly sets the fuel time and hits go, that'll be all. I'll be happy.
Fair enough. And yes, it's Alexandra in third, so he's the only driver I missed out on. But here we go, Matt. Do you want to take us into this countdown?
Okay, so we go 3, 4, 5 laps now. We have Tom Harding on pole, Anno alongside him, Alexander Queiroz in third place. Let's see how well these drivers get on, and it's a good getaway from Tom Harding. Danny Tutui gets an excellent start, already trying to make his move, and Danny Tutui is bonked into the wall, but I believe that might be, not sure who was at fault there, but Victor. That could be Victor, but Danny Tutui bonked into the wall, and that start is nullified.
Unfortunately so, Victor just kind of swerving across his teammate. There might be about to make contact again. And look at Alexandra there being forced out wide. Who is that? That is Bart the Raccoon there, forcing things wide. Then straight wide, going into a corner. You really don't want to be there. And that, as well, Garage proves, is the correct answer. Unfortunately, you don't want to be there. But at the moment, Danny Tutui now up into third, overtaking his teammate Victor Bernat in the GT4s, that is. But at the moment now, the racing looks to have settled down, and Tom Harding has actually ran away from Anno. Not bad stuff at all, Tom.
Most importantly, Anno is still pointing the right direction on the opening of the second lap of the race, so much better than the Ginettis in the last round.
I hope Anno is not listening right now, because that will probably have forced him off there. But anyway, Rix and Bobby as well, down in 6th position, unfortunately, just didn't get the best of starts there. And Alexandra in 5th also. So at the moment, the racing, well, the drivers we expected to move up haven't made their moves just yet. They're probably just doing a bit of tyre saving, making sure these drivers don't, make sure these tyres don't overheat. I don't
think Juan Gramash quite heard you as he goes on full on opposite log through Bomb Hill corner, trying to make his way by his Ginetta teammate as Danny Tatua now makes an attempt down the inside of McLean's on Arno. Victor Bernat will try to split the two drivers side by side. Would we see a little bit of bomb drafting coming from Victor on his teammate to try and muscle his way by Arno? And I think we will. Can Arno hang around the outside? Will he go to wide? I think he's going a little bit wide into the gravel. He goes sideways. He gets collected once again. Not sure who he makes contact with. That's Rix and Bobby. He makes contact with Rix and Bobby, losing a few slots. Danny Tatui under pressure from Victor Bernat again. Victor on the inside, Danny defending on the outside, and has the inside for Bomb Hill corner, places his car in just the right places, and prevents Victor from cutting underneath him and using the better exit.
Well, I must say, it's certainly been a NASCAR frantic start, so I must say, I don't know the difference. Is this a simulator or an actual NASCAR race? I can't tell you. To be honest with you, it's certainly been very lifelike for certain. But at the moment, right now, it seems like the closest battles are between second to fourth at the moment. The cars only about half a second between each other, or a second separating them. And now Tom Harding is coming into their crutches. And Tom Harding surely only has a number of laps. Victor Bernard there trying a move on his teammate there in the Ginetta GT4s, that is. That must be stated every time. But at the moment, right now, it's Tom Harding in first, Danny Tatui in second, Victor Bernat in third, Alexandra in fourth, Wagbamarsh recovering up into fifth, Rickson in sixth, Mariver in seventh, Bart the Raccoon in eighth, Andrew Beyer,
Oh, sideways from Alexandra going into McLean's. It saves us. Sorry to cut you off so much. But Alexandra trying to push as hard as possible. He can see the podium is right in front of him. He can see his lap time. He has the pace. We know he has the pace because he closed up so much onto this battle when the guys were fighting. He just needs to keep the car under control. And when Victor and Danny and inevitably Tom Harding battle, he should be here as Victor makes a move, a dive down the inside into Drew's corner on Danny Tatui, muscling his way on by. And like I was saying, if these three just start battling, then Alexandra is in the contention for a podium place.
Brett Meyer and Nano are also having a go at each other in 11th. It's Brett Meyer that comes out on top for the time being, but Brett Meyer was kind of shoved there by Anno, so Anno trying to force his way by anything he can do. Coming to Graham Hill Bend right now, and look at this, Anno does have the inside, and he is going to improve up into 11th. This is going to come through to McLean's, but no, Anno gets it done well before then, and Tom Harding in the lead.
Victor Bernard in the lead now. Victor managed to get a better exit coming out of McLean's and drives on by Tom Harding. Now, if Danny Tatui is not able to get by Tom Harding too quick Tom was looking down the inside of Victor Bernard. We see Alexandra was saying he's right onto the rear bumper of Alexa Credits as Ike Marva loses position to Rix and Bobby. Bart Raccoon loses position to Andrew Beyer. We have battles up and down the grid. Ike Marva still side by side with Rix and Bobby. Jazz manages to edge himself ahead of the American driver, but let's see if he can keep that lead. And as I was saying, Tom Harding falling a little bit as Danny Tatui again with a close line in the McLean's. Can he get a better drive out of the final corner to move on by Tom Harding? Alexandra trying to follow him on by. He does have the slipstream, so he should be able to at least close on a lot onto Tom Harding. Tom Harding switches down under in Paddock Hill corner and retains. Oh, there's contact. Tom Harding into the wall with a big hit that has put Tom Harding out of the contentions for sure. It does promote Alexandra into second place. Danny Tatui down to third, but he's under attack once again on Alexandra and Massus. He's on way on by.
Side-by-side action, and guess what? Anno into 10th as well. I know that's not what we're looking at right now, but we'll cut back to Danny Tatui very quickly, and he's up into second, coming through to McLean's right now, and he is all up and safe in second for the time being. But now the gap has kind of reset itself to where it was originally, and Bart the Raccoon has had a moment coming out of Graham Hill Bend. Anno now making up positions as we go, but at the moment it's Kachios up down into 10th and Anno up into 9th, but Anno is 6 seconds between him and another car, which is Andrew Beyer, currently having a race of his own in 8th position. But now cutting back to the top 5, Tom Harding unfortunately falling all the way back due to a
there's a little bit of a disconnect, I think, from Victor Bernard. A little bit of an internet, it seems, issue for some reason from Victor Bernard. He is lagging all over the place. Not sure what happened here. That has completely killed Alexandra in this chaos. What has happened to the Spanish driver?
Yeah, a connection issue for sure. The red, and there we are. He resets back into the lead out of all places. So unfortunately for Alexandra, that has cost him severely. Looks like he had a bit of contact there.
Oh, Victor with 3,000 ping from Victor. That is not what we want to see. Something is definitely up with his connection.
No, we don't want to see that at all. Unfortunately, we, if I've got this correct, you do have to consider kicking him.
We do have to consider him kicking him. Would be a shame to see, but we saw what has happened. Like, Alexandra was in a prime podium place, and to just have ruined it in such a moment, it's very unfortunate, and it looks like his ping is stabilizing once again.
Unfortunately for him, of course, Sarah has given out the warning to say if your pig does do that again, we will kick you. As Rix and Bobby has made a move, or yeah, has made a move. No, Tom Harding has either made a move on Rix and Bobby or the vice versa, because now I think it was the other way around. Because now Rix and Bobby is losing out to Marava, so I think Rix and Bobby made a mistake there. That's allowed Marava to catch up into things, and now Marava up into 5th and Tom Harding back into 4th position for the time being. Wagamash, though, losing touch with this top 2, and Danny Tatui will be annoyed that he is, unfortunately, the exact same gap at this point of the race last time around. 6.5 minutes to go. Where did the time go? Oh no, Tom Harding's made a mistake at Graham Hill Bend.
A very unfortunate for Tom Harding. He's looking like a pretty quick and handy driver when he keeps it on the road, but unfortunately, just once again, or probably for the first time this race, it wasn't his. It was his fault. It was his fault because the first one, we don't know what happened, but it does look like an attempted murder coming out of Paddock Hill earlier in the race.
There we go. Tom Harding and Alexandra going toe to toe. Oh no! And there's contact, but they keep it on the road for the time being. But Alexandra, Robin is racing, and all is fair in love and war. And Alexandra gets that done up into 6th position for him. But great racing between the two of them. Hard, but definitely very fair. So these two definitely going to have it at it again. But Hanno's made a mistake at turn 1 again.
Oh, it looks like we're going to have, speaking of people that are going to have it, looks like Rix and Bobby and Ike Marava are still bumper to bumper, 2 tenths between each other. Let's see if Rix and Bobby has the slipstream, can get himself by Ike Marava down the main straight. Let's see. Those the other slipstream. Oh, slipstream not as powerful in these cars, it seems. Maybe we will have to take a look at. Oh, big slide from Rix and Bobby on the brakes coming into Paddock Hill corner. That is going to prevent him from attacking into Druids. Yes, he does. Keeps just the right time. But Ike Marava leaves the door open to allow Rix and Bobby to get on alongside him. But no can do this time. Ike Marava just drives away from the American driver. Well, with the most American name.
Well, guess what? The Graham Hill Bend. Rix had got a very good exit there. Wasn't able to carry it through to the cleans. But he's going to be looking for the switchback, I would imagine. And look at that. They are bumper to bumper yet again. Other battles going on around us. We are now in the 49s. The top 2 set in a 49.855 and a 49.922 or something like that. But anyway, Rix and Bobby battling for 4th position and by far away. This is a great entertainment out on track right now. I'm keeping an eye on everywhere else. At the moment, I do believe this is the closest we got, unless you count the battle for 10th, where that is just down to 1.5 seconds as it stands right now. And it looks like Bart made a mistake, and that's Addo up into 10th. But we cut back to the battle for 4th position, and that's where it seems to be right now. Wagramage in a race of his own in 5th, well, 3rd even, and he'll be happy about this for certain.
Yeah, Wagramage his pace just falling off from qualifying. And who was that in the side? That was Mateusz Breitmeier in 12th position, just not having the second race that he probably would have hoped for.
Yeah, he's currently a lap down to the leaders, so Kachios, unfortunately, well, no, not unfortunately, is at least still on the lead lap as it stands right now in 9th position, so has taken it easy on the vehicle. And at the moment, he is just kind of cruising around in 9th, and I think he'll be happy about that considering where he was. But Danny Tatui has made a rare mistake coming out of Graham Hill Bend there. You can see how much time he's lost, 2 seconds. So unfortunately for him, I think that is lead over, just defends 2nd place for him as it stands right now. But in terms of that battle for 4th, that is not over just yet. Rix and Bobby getting real close there in the final corner, but unfortunately made a mistake and is losing ground yet again. So the racing has sort of calmed itself down, and disappointingly for some, but for the drivers, they'll just be breathing a sigh of relief and just trying to get to the end.
Yeah, Rix and Bobby was trying to get much closer to Ike Marava on the brakes, outbraked himself, went too deep into main cleans and lost too much time to mount any sort of attack onto the Spaniard from the Plus Ultra Team Automobilismo Ingenieto GT4 Championship. He still has time to get on back onto to battle for P4, but unless he gets his head down and brings himself brings his self back into the rhythm of things, he might need to forget about that 4th place.
Sarah has just sent me an interesting sent an interesting screenshot about 15 minutes ago. Just a reminder about the race countdown being short, so remember to give up. And Ikamara saying, I give up, and Anno saying, I think I will give up. And she just says, never give up, keep pushing. So a bit of a moment there from Sarah, telling the entire grid to give up. So thank you very much for sharing that, Sarah. And allowing us to commentate on that in the commentary while I'm being grit up. Sarah giving me a bit of stick there in the chat. Thank you, Sarah, for that iconic moment, if I say so myself. At the moment, though, it looks like things have just settled down. So really, it's just kind of a race of keeping it cool and don't push truck too hard. But as soon as I say that, Tom Harding made a mistake there coming out of Graham Hill Bend. And lost a bit of ground there to Alexandra up ahead. 3 seconds separate them. Minute and a half to go. So 2 laps to go. And Victor Burnett has just been unstoppable. He has led this pretty much from the halfway mark and has not looked like he's in doubt. And Danny Tatui as well has just kind of had to play second fiddle. I am sure he will be planning some sort of comeback for when the Ginettas are around next week. So keep an eye on that.
Very much so. We have a battle for 10th place between Anno and Bart the Raccoon within 2/10 of one another. As we most likely, let's have a look. Where is Victor Bernard as we enter into the final lap of the race? Victor Bernard just behind the current Bart. Oh, very sideways for Bart the Raccoon. Can he save it? He does. He drifts around. Oh,
no.
just barely saves it. The car. From going into the shadow room, and that might be battle over for the 10th place. A very, very short-lived battle, but I think it does look like Juan Gramaj has made a mistake somewhere in that last lap. He's now 3.4 seconds from the leader. So let's move on to the leader as he comes across the second half of the final lap. Victor Bernard with a 2 for 2, it seems, albeit has killed somebody this race through his connection, and Anno Bernard is off. We just saw him move on by, and that will promote Bart the Raccoon into 10th place. Bart the Raccoon just in front of Victor Bernard. He will be able to complete one more lap. Victor Bernard comes across and wins race 2 for 2 out of 2 on the pickup track championship. Danny Tatu with a P2, Juan Gramaj with a P3, Ikema with a P4, Rickson Bobby P5, and P6 for Alexander Cray was the driver who was battling and was very unfortunately taken out, not through a fault of his own. Alexander Creos and Tom Harding in a very similar situation, being taken out from a podium place after leading for a few laps. Andrew Bayer will come across P8. Shame we weren't able to see him in the first race. That is a fault on us for making the timer so short. Asphalt comes across P9. And P10 will go to Bart the Raccoon as Mateusz Breitmeier improves to P11 as Anno has returned to pits after that spin.
Certainly has, so he might have been out of fuel there. We might have to just get that from him, but unfortunately a miserable day at the office for Anno there, unable to capitalise on the pace that he had. Unfortunately, yet again, Anno seems to be struggling when it comes to race pace, so definitely a lot for him to work on in sort of this break. So it seems like, something in the race just doesn't quite translate for when he gets into that race. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's mentality, or I don't know if it's something he sets up with the car, maybe just a couple of changes. I'm not sure. It will be certainly interesting to get that out of him when I get the chance. But anyway, moving on to brighter things, that was a great couple of races. Those are great cars.
In these cars are very fun to race, especially if when you set them up just a little bit less loose on the rear. They are certainly an extremely fun cars to drive. I certainly have enjoyed my 100 odd laps I did on this track with this combination, and I would certainly love to see a full-on championship with these cars. I'm not sure about yourself.
I think so too. I would love to see that. So, Matt, I'm actually going to go away and get some dinner. But I do believe we have a little something on straight after.
I am not too sure. I've thought when it comes to racing, that's it. But after
Yep.
your dinner, might be something off stream to do.
Yes. Alrighty, I'll let you know. But other than that, thank you everybody for tuning in for today's special event hosted by the brilliant Paw Racing. Please do join their community. They run a fantastic Janetta GT4 league. Unfortunately, I will not be with you next week. I am at the Eagles, going to watch them in Manchester, and it will be a great time.
I will have
Side you as
to.
well.
I will certainly have to find somebody to stream. Find somebody else to stream, as I will be at Brands Hatch American Speedfest to help a team that actually runs these cars in real life. So I will actually be out there being part of the team that run these cars.
And I hope you have a good time. But other than that, I will pretty much see you straight after this almost.
Indeed. So thank you to everyone that has tuned in. Thank you to all the drivers. Thank you, Dave, for commentating, and thank you to all the viewers. We had 14 viewers, which is quite a good view count for a special event. Well, a non-championship round, and a pretty good turnout as well. I'm quite happy with the drivers that we had today.
Who had that soundboard there? Who has that soundboard? Was
No
that
idea.
yourself?
No idea.
Well,
As I'm on streamer mode, so I don't hear anything.
well, so oh,
Dave and his soundboards. Well, we will see. No interviews today. It's only a special event, unless any drivers in the chat would like to have a say in anything that they do, or we could just raid the drivers and see what they say.
yes. Sarge, realizing why he's been cursed, but all right, I'm gonna go get some dinner. I'll see you in a bit, okay?
All right, take care of yourself. Enjoy your dinner, and then, well, seeing as this is a more relaxed stream, what do you say, Danny? Do you want to have few says in a voice chat with everyone? You know, I think we will. Let's have a look.
I'll miss the first race because of that.
Hello, drivers. Just so you know, you are
hello.
on stream. How was that out there
How
for you?
horrifying.
Oh, hi guys. Hi Twitch.
God damn it. How was it
Oh,
out
yeah,
there
you
for you
got
guys? You want to watch the replay? No replay for you, Danny.
Yeah, Serge.
I mean, at least I got to take part in the second race. You know, I mean that could have gone a little bit if hadn't I gone off in that one, like turn one on that one lap.
Indeed.
well.
So, how was it out there for you? Did you enjoy the challenge that these pickups have imposed upon you?
Honestly, I could have probably done a bit better if I had given myself more time to practice, as I was busy with working on a livery. Because the previous one was very rushed. And so, you know, for what I was able to do in about 2 hours of practice, I think this was fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I
Hold
did
on.
what I could.
I've done like 10 laps of practice. I absolutely hated the trucks, and then
I've done so
until
much
like
practice.
10 minutes before the race, I haven't done any practice. Joined the server, somehow bet match 49 time, and
Mm.
yeah, it was more fun than expected. I'll
Yeah.
be honest.
Hold on, you did you did a bump draft overtake on me in race 2.
Victor, yeah, drafted
Yeah,
me.
yeah. And then I went off, and that was it. I was gone.
I will admit,
It was pretty
it was
epic.
it
I
was
felt
decently
like
challenging, but but for example, turn one was kind of a nightmare to get right, more so than it otherwise would be. What I also noticed is that while I was playing around with the camber, is that you can't, if you put in the same values for camber differences on both sides, they are still different. What I think the right side is higher than the left side, which is kind of weird. Like, I don't know why it is that way.
I think that might be to how the pit lane in Brands is,
Oh,
because
I thought it was
it's at an angle, so the right side might have more or less
Oh,
camber.
I thought I was tripping, but okay.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave to force that replay to come sooner. So have a nice evening.
All right. Well, Let's just see. Would you guys like to see a full championship with these cars at some point? Maybe.
Absolutely not.
I mean, no, I would. I kind of like them. Just
You know,
at small tracks like that, like this.
it's usually
can
the
do some
driver
fun.
in the end, so I would definitely say yeah.
I
So,
got like
if
I
if
had
if we do, we'll see if we can get real life pickup drivers to join in as well, and see how you can test your metal against actual drivers of these machines.
Damn,
that's terrifying.
that sounds fun, but also equally terrifying.
I'm
And you
just-
know how these are. Well, I will point you to Pembry on BARC YouTube channel. You can rewatch live streams, and they do
Yeah.
live stream these pickup races. I do certainly recommend watching
Yeah.
the Pembry race too.
Yeah,
Cool.
so like they still race these. I was wondering that.
They do
I've
still
seen
race
ones.
these. We actually we
Nice.
will be racing again next weekend at Brands Hatch and the American Speedfest. So I'll post a link to the live chat to the live
Yeah,
stream
I'll
in
take a
the
look at that.
Discord, and you can certainly have a look.
Because
Alright.
these cars, they should like. I can tell that they can create really good racing, and it's also quite fun to drive. I'm just a bit annoyed about how it went for me today, but when does it ever not go like that for me?
Yeah, it seems like race. It just seems like race and quali are just a tale of two halves.
I mean, quali. I didn't even do that well in quali. That's the thing, right? I did not match my PB. I didn't come particularly close to it. I did about a lap in race one than in quali.
Indeed.
Anyways, I really need to go, so have
Alright.
a nice evening.
Yeah.
Have a nice evening, and I will be now ending the live stream myself. So thank you to all the thank you to the three drivers that partook in this little interview. Any
Yes.
final things you would like to say?
Not much other than stay safe, keep it pinned, and
No.
stay frosty. You guys have a great day. Bye bye.
Right, take care of yourselves, and we shall be finishing this live stream here. So people who want to rewatch the VOD, you very well may watch it in just a few moments. Thank you to all the drivers, and this will be on YouTube. Thank you to drivers, thank you to all the viewers, thank you to the admin team, and we will see you next weekend. Hopefully I can get somebody else to live stream it for you, as I will not be able to live stream the Chang race, which I am very sad about, so I'll have to see who can live stream these races for you. In the meantime, everyone, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you next weekend, hopefully. Take care, everyone.